So today I'm doing this 2011 Kia Soul. The oil pump went bad and it started spewing oil everywhere. Had to get it towed here. But I'm also in some nice clothes. So I'm gonna try to do this without getting dirty. I only looked up the location of the oil pump, so kind of doing this blindly. I'm all suited up now. Should not get dirty. Got my light. Go ahead and jack this thing up, put it on some jack stands. Start taking everything apart. Okay. Hang on. Cool. Something else. Alright. Yeah, get 40 hanging. Let's see. What goes in. That's it. It's hard to Jesus. That was huge. Yes. So you see that. Huh. Really big. This is not. Sorry, ECU. I love you. We'll take off those three, and the one in the back. And then this thing should just come off. Sick. Check this out. Isn't that dope? Let's see how good I am. It was like 17 to me. Right. Starting on the top left engine mount. 14. Going right here. Ew. It's definitely not connected anymore, I'll tell you that. Man, why would they do this? I'm finna cheat, fam. Cause this ain't nice up in here. There we go. I don't want to lose money. I don't have enough money. Like, so yeah, I hope you like my story. Now that this is out of the way, but at least this will come off. Yee! Cool. That would be tightening. Slide it on in there. It's a 12, just like I thought. The timing belt is in the way, or that's in the way. Timing belt. Ah, yeah. Interesting bracket. The heck is that for? That right there is the other side of the bolt. So I gotta go back behind it. See, this is where poor engineering is, because this plastic's in the way. And just do something about it. Put a hole right there, you know? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a hole right there. Turn this wheel right. So, somewhere in there. There it is. So, I'm gonna drill through that. This will just make it easier for anybody in the future. Only reason I'm doing this. It's not that I'm lazy. There we go. And that's how you get the alternator out. We'll get it out. Oh, there it goes. I'll just let it rest down there. Take this, stick it around it. Get it to latch. Okay, this is something that you should do before taking the belt off. You're gonna have to use this, which I mean would make more sense since it's angled. Just use this thing with this belt wrapped around it. just hold it. It's an interesting way they did this. Is there a keyhole? Oh, that one comes off too. Look at that. They line up. What? My GoPro died, but all I did in the meantime was take off that power steering belt. And I found a way to do that by turning this wheel all the way to the left. And through that hole, there is a bolt about this, like the wrist, your wrist will hit this wheel, this well right here. It's pointing down that way. And you loosen it, and the more you loosen it, the more that belt gets looser and looser, and then you can slide it off. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is taking off the timing cover, the lower timing cover. Don't have to take the bolts off right there for the water pump. It's not necessary. But getting that timing cover off was pretty difficult. There were a total of 5 bolts. Most of them I accessed from below. Once those were off, the hardest part was getting out of there. I had to jack the engine up so that this engine mount on the side of the engine was cleared above this engine mount for it to, the timing cover to slide up through it. After that, also I got the harmonic balancer off right there with an impact gun. I tried to do it with a breaker bar, but unless you have a second person to step on the brake pedal while the car's in the air, it's kind of impossible to do. You might as well just get impact. It's a 22 size socket, and then that just slid right off. Then I took the rest of the belts off, took the timing belt off by taking the tensioner off. Unfortunately, mine broke. They usually have a front side access keyhole to relieve tension, which I used, but I guess this bolt you have to loosen first before taking the tension off. It mounts with, if you look at this spot, the spring coming out the top with that facing directly up. So these teeth on the back, this wording right here should be upside down but level. So it should be just like that. That hole right in the middle of the screen is the bolt mounting hole. And on the back of here, this part, this black part, is held in position from that that face mounting, and this silver tab coming out is connected to the same thing that this is connected to. So if you're able to access this, and then then you can relieve pressure by doing that. So my plan is to push this. The max it can go is to where my index finger is right now. Push it all the way through. Let's see if I can do it by hand. Right there, you can see that little pinhole, maybe. There's a little pinhole at the tip of my thumb. And you can slide basically like a pin through there to hold that tensioner in position of untensioned. And then install your belt and pull that tab out, and then it'll snap. I just took out that tensioner pulley, that bolt, because it's attached to the oil pump. As you can see up here, everything that's silver above the oil pan, or whatever goldish bronze, oily colored, that's all the oil pump. So, including this filter spot. So we're going to take off what looks like that pulley up there, all the bolts holding it on, and the bolts holding onto the oil pan. And then hopefully be able to slide it off, because that crankshaft's in the way, so we'll see what I can do. Started draining the oil. Got the exhaust taken off, because you got to take the oil pan off. And to do that, you got to take the exhaust off. So, broke off the bolts on the catalytic converter, hanging down. Took off most of the bolts from the oil pan, and then just drained it, and now I'm going to take it off. And then I can take the oil pump off, maybe. Yeah. So left it off, I've been cleaning off that surface the whole time. And now we're gonna go eat. Come back to this another day.
Oh my God.
Here's the oil pickup.
It's a familiar shape. The good part. Oh! Do we have a...
What we've all been waiting for. So, come here.
That looks dry.
Somewhere there's a leak because this dude pulled his off, but I cheated. I looked at the video, and he said it was leaking either like up here through the gasket. What I got to do is finish cleaning off the bottom of the oil or the engine block for the oil pan to sit on with the silicone. I got, let's take a look. Permatex. It was recommended by O'Reilly, so I just went and got it. Oil filter came cheap with the O'Reilly's oil MGL 51334, and then it said 4.2 quarts of 520 for winter, 530 for summer. Oh, and of course, the whole reason I did this, the oil pump, that's going to go on first, because then we can put the harmonic balancer back on, do the timing, then do the oil pan. It all makes sense. So you're going to want to get a gasket for this as well, clean it off, put it together, stick it back on the new one, torque it down. I'm gonna look up the torque specs real quick and I'll post them, and then I'm sure there's probably a sequence for this one, but we'll find out. I got a new timing belt. Found out that the timing for the engine block, I have to put the timing cover back on so I can line up the harmonic balancer with the top dead center hash mark on the, here, let's find it. So right here, top dead center, says T on it. That has to line up with this little hash mark on the harmonic balancer. And then the camshaft has to, there's a spoke on here. Let's get the light on it. There's a spoke on here. You can see mine's pointing left. That says up on it. Right there. And then there's this hole. And this hole is supposed to line up with this red line painted on. And you can do that with a mirror or a little poker thing. Probably going to do it with one of these little pokers so it lines up perfectly. Hold it in place and put the timing belt back on. And then I can get to putting the oil pan back on and finishing on up. So, okay, now I got the oil pump and pickup line on. I'll torque down. Next step is to put the harmonic balancer on. Oh, by the way, there were 3 long bolts of, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 bolts. These 3 right here were the long ones. So I got it all back together, but unfortunately, while cleaning out the oil pan, I found at the bottom both of the thrust washers. And obviously one is pretty bad. So I contacted the customer, and they said that they just wanted to put it back together so they could just get rid of it. And yeah, so I mean, got the job done pretty easily, got everything back together. It was actually easier putting it together than it was taking it apart, surprisingly, but it's unfortunate.